Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. First tonight, another incident of violent youth crime in Glenorchy has prompted an impassioned plea for action from an upper house independent. Beck Thomas says a growing number of North Hobart residents are feeling unsafe as the Premier weighs up tougher penalties for young offenders.
It was just 2 weeks ago when this daylight brawl between youths inside Glenorchy's Big W store shocked Hobart's northern suburbs. Now, there are new reports of more disturbances at the shopping complex, rattling the community. Do you feel safe coming to the shopping centre?
No, not really. No.
I've got a 78-year-old grandfather and he doesn't even want to come in here no more. And there's no respect shown, they're just running rampant.
It's a problem that's become out of hand, according to local upper house independent Beck Thomas, labelling it a crisis.
As far as I'm aware and what I've been informed by community members, there's been around 6 violent incidences in the last 12 days.
Calling for more police patrols as an immediate priority, which the government has committed to, along with more investment into youth early prevention and intervention services.
We don't want to live in a community where people don't feel safe going out and about.
Though tackling youth crime is a complex task.
I think it's time we had a conversation with the community about what the community expects in terms of how we deal with serious offending by young offenders.
Frontline support providers say they see firsthand the benefits of helping at-risk young people, but say they need more funding.
We see a massive change, not just in behaviours, not just in attitudes, but in how they're being productive within the community.
Following the recent incidents here in Glenorchy, Premier Jeremy Rockcliffe says he's strongly considering adult time for adult crime laws like those in Queensland, which have seen a drop in car thefts and break-and-enters since December.
It's important to be tough on crime and tough on the causes of crime.
We're setting ourselves up to fail when that young person comes back out of detention and continues to commit more crime.
Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
Political campaigns can often turn dirty, and there's been no shortage of jabs thrown around this federal election period. But in a new video obtained by 7 Tasmania News, it appears some are taking a cleaner approach to get their message across.
In the cover of darkness, a trio targets Labor MP Julie Collins' Rosny office. Rather than spray paint, their tool of choice, a pressure washer, marking support for rival candidate Peter George.
It's not something that I would have naturally thought of doing. It comes from obviously a great warm heart of enthusiasm for our campaign.
The independent hopeful steering clear of dirty tactics, insisting it's not part of his official campaign.
And provided it's not actually breaking any rules or breaking any laws, I guess it's acceptable, but as I say, it's not something that I would encourage.
Julie Collins hasn't commented on the video, instead spruiking Labor's 1800 Medicare announcement.
This is an important after-hours access. It's particularly important in regional and rural Tasmania.
Urgent care clinic is now set up to receive those patients, and that's very important. So you have access and somewhere for those patients to land.
But it's a funding commitment for the Bass Highway that has Liberals phoning in, calling on Labor to match its $80 million pledge.
This is a critical stretch of road for safety reasons, as well as for getting our products to market as well.
We've obviously already invested and continue to invest hundreds of millions of dollars into the Bass Highway in Tasmania.
The battle now, who has the fuel to last the distance? Victoria Risto, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, a new national report has found Tasmania's population growth continues to lag the rest of the nation. ComSec's latest State of the States analysis places the Apple Isle 5th overall, but scored it highly for equipment spending and construction work. The Premier says we've had the fastest economic growth over the past year, up 3.8%, and insists population growth is exceeding projections.
When you've got high wage growth, leading the nation in economic growth and low inflation, that Tasmania is the place to be.
Shadow Health Minister Ella Haddad says the outlook for the state isn't good enough. The Human Rights Commission has launched a legal challenge against Tasmania's parole board in a bid to lift a immediate gag order imposed on Sue Neal-Fraser. The case argues preventing the convicted murderer from speaking to media is improper and in breach of the constitutionally implied freedom of political communication. Sue Neal-Fraser served 13 years in prison for the murder of her former husband, Bob Chappell. She's been on parole since 2022. Well, Tasmania has joined countless communities around the world paying respect to Pope Francis. Reporter Lily Thompson joins us from St Mary's Cathedral in Hobart. Good evening, Lily. Now, how are Tasmanian Catholics marking his passing tonight?
Kim, Hobart's Archbishop Julian Porteous has just started a special mass to quite a large crowd in the cathedral behind me. Now, in his opening remarks, he reflected on Pope Francis's life, his dedication to the church, and of course his humility, something that so many people have admired about him. Now, there was quite a sombre mood, as you could imagine, inside, as many prayed and sang hymns for the head of the Catholic Church. Just a short time ago, I spoke to some attendees on what it meant for them to be here tonight.
Our respects to the Pope Francis for all that he's done for the world.
The Pope has certainly been a great influence in my life.
He obviously had a way of reaching people and speaking to their hearts, and you can tell by the turnout here how well loved he was.
So just speaking to those people there and plenty of others that have been here tonight, it's obvious that the Pope's passing has had such a profound effect on so many people across the world, as we've seen over the last couple of days, but also here a little closer to home. Kim?
The newest Tasmania police vehicle is hitting the beat, responding to community feedback. The van is all about sparking conversations with local law enforcement.
You won't see officers getting around Tasmania on this, but you will start to see this new van in your local area. Nicknamed Polly is being launched in response to feedback from the community.
They want to see police highly visible, and they also want to have an opportunity to have in-person conversations.
Able to be parked up in towns around the state, it's an opportunity for locals and cops to share a coffee and have a chat.
Listen to their feedback. Give them some advice on the local crime issues that may be experienced in that local area.
Polly will also be wheeled out to junior sporting events, a recommendation of the Weiss report.
We think that deploying Polly to those events will help us break down the barriers and have informal conversations and provide the tips to parents on what may constitute grooming behaviour.
The van's equipped with satellite internet and Wi-Fi for the community to use, but most importantly, a quiet space for those who need a private word with an officer. Members of the public can invite Polly to their local events by visiting the Tasmania Police website. Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
A memorial garden honouring Tasmanians who've lost their lives in the workplace is now complete. Situated outside the gates of Launceston's UTAS Stadium, the space acts as a place to remember and mourn those who've died on the job. Today's official opening coincides with International Workers' Memorial Day. Tasmania's accommodation sector has experienced one of its biggest months to date, new figures showing booming occupancy numbers for March. It's a welcome relief for operators who are now preparing for a seasonal drop in tourists.
It seems Tassie's tourism demand is reluctant to slow down. Figures by the Tasmanian Hospitality Association showing the highest ever accommodation occupancy rate for March.
We had record figures in the north and the northwest, and the south weren't too far behind. So overall, from the state perspective, we were just under 90%, which is a fantastic result.
It's the first time any month other than February has broken the 89% threshold and is an increase on March last year. Operators talking it up to events like 10 Days on the Island and EcoFest, as well as approaching ones like AgFest.
It's not just investment in hospitality things, but it's investment in sports grounds and all of those things that really bring people to the north.
On the East Coast, agritourism operators like Twomley Farm are already assessing bookings ahead of winter. The region's occupancy the lowest in the state for March, but follows a strong summer.
We tend to promote
the off-season package really hard this time of year to try and get those forward bookings. And I guess also sort of really promoting the overall experience.
A series of community conversations will be held across the East Coast in coming weeks. It's a chance for tourism operators from Buckland to St Mary's to voice the issues that are important to them as they approach the tougher winter months.
How we can address some of those challenges like seasonality. And we just want to really speak to the community and find out what those pressure points are for them and those opportunities as well.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
More than half of household waste is being diverted from landfill thanks to new FOGO bins in the northwest, according to a Devonport Council report. The city's residents sending 1,900 tonnes of organic waste to be composted in the first 8 months of the scheme. So far, it's saved ratepayers in the 5 participating council areas, including Central Coast, Kentish, Latrobe and Waratah Wynyard, almost $500,000 in landfill levies. Tasmanians are being urged to come together with needle and thread to raise awareness of cardiovascular disease. St Luke's is partnering with a local heartfelt project, with the initiative providing emotional support to patients in our hospitals.
Little in size, these tiny hearts have a big role to play. St Luke's is teaming up with a local initiative for a labour of love, raising awareness about a deadly disease that affects so many.
We are aiming to sew the 1,300 hearts. That's our goal, as 1,300 people died just last year in Tasmania to cardiovascular disease.
It's hoped the project will spark more conversations around making positive changes to our lifestyles, with Tasmania having one of the highest rates of cardiovascular disease in the country.
We do see a much higher rate of cardiovascular disease in Tasmania. We're approximately 13% higher than the national average.
Tasmanians can visit St Luke's wellness hubs in Hobart and Launceston to have a go free of charge. Everyone can take part, with no expert sewing skills necessary.
It's not about the quality of the thread, it's not the stitching, it's not what the heart looks like at the end. It's about the love.
Kindness actually acts as an antidepressant in our brain, gives us a boost of serotonin and a hit of dopamine, so you're on a natural high when you're being kind.
Once the goal is reached, the hearts will be donated to hospitals across Tasmania to comfort those in need.
People tell me that it's literally got them through a health crisis or the loss of a loved one.
Helping change lives one tiny heart at a time. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
With the election just a few days away, there's been a last-minute push for the next federal government to invest in a much-needed sports facility in Newtown Bay. Beck Thomas recently moved a successful motion in the upper house to get the state government to fund part of it, who've agreed to chip in 20%.
The lack of facilities in the south leave us well behind the rest of the state and the rest of the country from a participation point of view.
The project is shovel ready. It's there for a quick win, if you like. You know, we could be cutting a ribbon on the opening of a new facility in the next 12 to 18 months.
The project, which features 4 indoor courts, is estimated to cost $25 million.
In his first season at Olston, Michael Linane has proven himself a valuable get, booting 6 goals in the Robins' nail-biting 1-point Anzac Day win over Penguin. They're one of 3 sides undefeated so far in the NWFL.
You know, to start with is, good. There's a lot of positivity around the club and in the playing group and belief within each other.
The Kingborough women have dusted themselves off after a run of bad luck to post their first win in the SFL.
So we've had a couple of injuries, 2 ACLs and a broken ankle into the first part of the season. So we've had to rejig the team pretty significantly.
And after being disqualified 3 weeks ago for going too fast on the cycle leg, Tasmania's Cam Worth has responded by going even faster at the North American Championship Triathlon in Texas. The 41-year-old setting the fastest Ironman bike split in history, entering the run leg first ahead of fellow Aussie Nick Thompson. Worth ended up 8th overall. Yeah, that'll show him, won't it, Kim?
There's no stopping him. Thank you very much, Nick. Well, Peter Murphy will join us after the break with the weather forecast.
Good evening. A drizzly 13 in Hobart today. Launceston, Devonport and Burnie all 19, while 20 was the high at Low Head. Close to average temperatures in the north, but well below over southern parts. St Helens and the Bass Strait Islands 18, Smithton 17, 15 today at Friendly Beaches, Bushy Park and Strawn. Cloudy conditions today. Showers over the east and south. The best fall to 4 p.m. was 9 millimetres in Interlaken, or as Kim Miller says, Interlaken. High cloud is over southeastern Australia today. A weakening cloud band with a front to our west. Some cloud with a few thunderstorms over the top end. Tomorrow the high to the south of WA extends a ridge our way as the cold front pushes to the northeast of Tasmania. We'll have south-southeasterly winds at 20 knots, grading to 30 knots over the north and east. We do have a strong wind warning in that region. That's from Sandy Cape around to Wineglass Bay. Tuesday for Hobart, a possible shower and 14. 15 the top for Adventure Bay, chance of a shower for Tarraleah and 9 the top. 16 for Launceston and partly cloudy, 17 for Devonport and Bridport with a similar forecast. Burnie becoming cloudy and 16 the top, bit of cloud over the west, Strawn 15, Marrawar 16. St Helens tomorrow a top of 15 degrees and a possible shower, 15 for Swansea. Winds easing from Whitemark, still a shower there and 17. Wednesday fine apart from a light shower over the east coast, a light frost inland. Thursday areas of morning frost again, followed by a fine mostly sunny day. And on Friday, apart from a shower over the southwest, another fine day with light winds. Sunny and 26 in Perth, showers for Adelaide and Melbourne, 24 and a showery day as well in Sydney, a mostly sunny 28 for Brisbane. And cloudy conditions at the moment, 12 in Hobart, 14 in Launceston and 14 in Devonport. Love wearing red on a Monday, Kim. Liverpool got up, that's just fantastic. I would have worn the hat all day, but it sort of messes up the hair a bit.
Oh, please. Nothing to say about the Swans this week, Merv. And that is all your news for now. We'll have updates later, but for now, it's good night.